Hello and welcome to episode 69 of the How to Survive podcast. This week we're covering fantastic beasts and where to find them. It's the new Harry Potter universe film. It's out in cinemas at the moment. Next week we're covering the classic 1984 monster movie Gremlins. So if you've got any ideas about how you'd survive in either of those films, email in at howtosurviveshow@gmail.com or tweet in at howtosurvivepod. Now, on with the show.
You're an interesting man, Mr. Scamander. Just like your suitcase, I think there's much more to you than meets the eye. Kicked out of Hogwarts for endangering human life with a beast. Yet one of your teachers argued strongly against your expulsion. I wonder, what makes Albus Dumbledore so fond of you, Mr. Scamander?
Hello and welcome to episode 69 of the How to Survive podcast. We're all the way back in the roaring 20s this week, but if you're a muggle or a nomad, please do not listen, because this podcast is not for you. Because this week we're talking about fantastic beasts and where to find them. Joining me as ever is my magical compatriot, Joe Sherville.
Hello, and abracadabra to you.
Thanks very much. So this week we're talking about fantastic beasts. It's still in the cinemas at the time of recording. So go out and see it because it's an enjoyable watch.
I think it'll still be in the cinemas about a year from now.
Probably, yeah. All the way up until Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them too.
Where to still find them.
Yeah, where to find them even more. So if you haven't seen the film, obviously we're going to spoil everything when we recap the plot ahead of talking about how we would survive in the film a little bit later on. So if you haven't seen the film yet, this is your spoiler warning, and let's dive into the plot. The year is 1926, and Gellert Grindelwald, a dark wizard, puts the magical world on high alert by massacring scores of Europeans in the hope of starting a war between magical and non-magical people. Meanwhile, magizoologist Newt Scamander arrives in New York City with a magical suitcase full of magical beasts he's collected while travelling the magical world. Shortly after his arrival, a magical creature known as a Niffler, with a penchant for jewels, escapes from his suitcase and runs into a bank. As Newt attempts to recapture it, Jacob Kowalski, a nomad cannery worker, mistakenly carries off Newt's magical suitcase. Nomad, of course, being the American term, Joe, for the much more familiar muggle.
That's what we call them in Britain.
Yeah. Recently demoted Aura, Tina Goldstein, that's a very New York name there, isn't it? Arrests Newt for being an unregistered wizard and takes him to the Magical Congress of the United States of America, also known as the MACUSA headquarters.
It sounds like an Asian syndicate, crime group.
Yeah, it sounds like a very specific one that you're thinking of.
Yes. It just sounds like Yakuza.
Yeah. So Newt is arrested for being an unregistered wizard and taken to the MACUSA headquarters, with Tina Goldstein hoping to regain her former position as an Aura. However, President Serafina Pickery and Aura Percival Graves dismiss the case. At Jacob's apartment, several creatures escape from Newt's suitcase. Alongside the aforementioned Niffler are an Occamy, which is a bird-snake hybrid who shrinks or grows to fill any space, a Demiguise, who can turn invisible at will, and an Erumpent, which is a giant rhinoceros-esque creature with a glowing head.
Yes, very unusual.
Yes.
It's important to note, by the way, that Jacob switched suitcases by accident with Newt.
Yes.
Which is why they are in his apartment.
Yes.
Yeah.
Percival Graves, meanwhile, who coincidentally has the same haircut as Grindelwald, approaches Credence Barebone, son of the leader of an anti-magic religious group called the Second Salemers, and offers to free him from his abusive mother in exchange for his finding the host of an Obscurus, a dark, destructive magical force raging through New York City.
Yeah, and it's revealed that Newt is actually carrying another Obscurus in his suitcase.
Just to obscure things further.
Yes.
Credence's mother is obsessed with outing the magical community and attempts to convince New York City Senator Henry Shaw and his son, Henry Shaw Jr., of its existence, but she is rudely rebuffed. Later, the Obscurus appears and brutally kills Shaw Jr. at a No-Maj event in plain view of hundreds of witnesses. Tina and Newt find Jacob in the suitcase, and together with Tina's sister Queenie, they recapture the escaped animals. Shortly afterwards, officials arrest them, believing Newt unleashed the Obscurus on the city. Graves interrogates Newt and Tina and accuses Newt of conspiring with the infamous dark wizard Grindelwald. Newt and Tina are immediately sentenced to death because this is America, but they manage to escape. Credence finds a wand under his adopted sister Modesty's bed. His mother assumes the wand belongs to Credence, but Modesty claims it is hers. When she is about to be punished, the Obscurus is unleashed, killing everyone except Modesty and Credence. Graves arrives and Credence reveals himself to be the source of the Obscurus, which was the real cause of Shaw Jr.'s death, and he then unleashes it upon New York City in a rage.
Yes.
In a climactic battle, Newt and Tina attempt to talk down Credence, but the auras arrive and essentially disintegrate him. Graves admits to unleashing the Obscurus to expose the magical community to the No-Mages, and angrily claims that Makusa protects the No-Mages more than themselves. He lashes out at the auras, but is subdued by Newt, who reveals him to be Gellert Grindelwald in disguise.
Who could have seen that coming?
It's unbelievable. Grindelwald is then taken into custody by Makusa auras. Makusa fears it is too late to protect their secret world, but Newt releases his Thunderbird Ex Machina to disperse a potion over the city that will erase all of the New Yorkers' recent memories. Makusa wizards repair the destruction, and Queenie kisses Jacob goodbye as the rain erases his memories. Newt departs for Europe, but promises to return and visit Tina once he finishes his book. He also anonymously leaves Jacob a case of Occamy eggshells, which are made of silver, allowing Jacob to fulfill his dream of opening his own bakery. His breads and pastries are unknowingly inspired by Newt's creatures, and a visit by Queenie seems to spark his erased memories. And that's how Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them finishes.
Yeah.
Did you think it was a fantastic film?
It turns out Where to Find Them is just in New York.
In one man's suitcase.
Yeah. That's the extent of the film. They should have just had the word suitcase, and that would have saved us all a lot of bother.
Magical Suitcase, the movie.
Yeah. It was good. I think there's nothing wrong with the film.
No.
Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I know what you mean, yeah. Definitely.
I think what I'd say is it's the perfect Christmas Day movie, or Boxing Day movie.
Yeah.
Nothing, you've had your nice dinner, you're a little bit drunk maybe, you don't want anything too taxing. Here's a film with cute animals, mild peril, and more, largely inconsequential.
Yeah, I know what you mean, yeah. It's got enough of a story to still retain an interest all the way through. But yeah, it's not so taxing. I mean, the big twist is two men who have the same haircut.
Yeah, are the same person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think
it's a bit Scooby-Doo, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, and I think part of that, what it reminded me of was Doctor Who.
Yes.
Especially because of Eddie Redmayne, which incidentally, it's nice to see a posh English actor get a chance for once, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I think it's very much a sort of romp, like you say, perfect family Christmas movie.
Yeah.
Although that said, I think there are some there's quite a bit of darkness to the world that maybe you don't see in the promotional materials.
Yeah.
So the scene in particular obviously there's the spectre of sort of child abuse running through the film.
Yeah. But you don't see it, but it's implied well enough. But
Implied very heavily.
Yeah.
This is sort of like a reflection of the later Harry Potter films, which are also directed by David Yates.
Yes.
Which are all quite dark. They get increasingly dark. And yeah, like I said, this one has sort of child abuse. Also has that scene with the death chamber, sort of execution chamber, which is obviously supposed to evoke how they killed witches in the Salem witch trials, because it's a sort of chair.
They're going to dunk.
Dunk in what I assume, having seen the Harry Potter films, is a sort of the veil between life and death.
Yes.
But they do it in a way so it's like the people are tempted in by memories of their mothers and stuff. It's pretty dark.
It's unpleasant.
Yeah, I mean it's
I came here to see the Nifflers, and I've got
exactly
execution on.
Yeah, so it is a weird, one scene you're chasing the little furry jewelry thief.
Yeah.
And then the next scene has the implication of a boy being beaten savagely.
State mandated execution.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Would you say it would be better had they trimmed it? I mean, it's part of a 5-movie franchise, so we know why they have to have the Johnny Depp reveal and they have to have all that sort of thing. But is it a better film if it's just Newt wants to find his little animals and he gets into all sort of mischief? You still have Jacob as a sidekick. You still have the love interest, but you haven't got the baggier parts, which are, it was me all along. Like,
I don't know. Actually, I think that it's probably a better film for like the world in which it exists. Like, no one would care about this film if it was just generic wizard.
Yes,
and the overall mythology of it. Like, I don't know a huge amount about Harry Potter. My girlfriend is much more the scholar of Harry Potter than me. But, I understand that Grindelwald is an important evil figure in that world.
I remember Dumbledore talked about him. I mean, I've to be clear, I've watched the movies once, I've read the books once when they came out. So I'm going a lot on memory.
Yeah.
I know you watch it once or twice a week, I think.
Yeah, that's about right. Yeah. One a day, obviously.
Yeah.
And I'm counting 7 and 8 as one film, obviously.
Yeah, that's what Sundays are for.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's but I think it's obviously expanding what I think is an underrated fantasy universe. Like, in terms of, I don't mean in terms of how popular the books are,
right,
or their appeal or anything like that, because obviously it's a international, cultural touchstone.
Yeah, I mean, it's got its own like island at Universal Studios.
Exactly, yeah. But actually, I think the sense of place that J.K. Rowling creates is underrated. I think it's like it's not.
It's very immersive.
Yeah, and it's like the thing that excited me about seeing this film much more than the character story was like, this is set in the 1920s in America. Those are two things, we haven't seen those in the context of this universe, where you have witches and wizards and all that sort of thing. I didn't disappoint on that level. It had a sort of like steampunky feel to it.
Yeah.
And it still felt, far enough removed from the Harry Potter films, while still clearly being part of the same universe.
Yeah, I mean, you get all the fan service, like when he's like, "Oh, you went to Hogwarts, did you?
Yeah.
And your teacher was Mr. Albus Dumbledore.
Yeah.
What is it? Who is he? Tell me more about it."
Yeah. But I think they're trying to do something where they're drawing out the boundaries of the universe a bit more.
Do you think it's better than other fictional universes?
I think it might have more interest. I think there's more room for sort of modern story beats in this universe than there is in something like Lord of the Rings or Game of Thrones, to use two other well-known fantasy universes.
Right.
Like, Lord of the Rings is very arch because of the, it's like very theatrical and mannered in its presentation, and everyone talks a little bit sort of old Englishy and all that sort of thing.
Yes.
And Game of Thrones is its own thing, where the universe is very removed from this one.
It's like an alternative. It's
history.
Similar enough that you can recognise it, but then there's dragons.
Yeah. Whereas in this one, it's more like, it's realistic enough that you could conceivably, as a child reading it or whatever, buy into the idea that there's this world that's hidden, just that you can't see but is there. And I think that's probably why it's so popular, is that it's, it takes place in a world that kids can buy into.
Yeah, I think like that's something I felt a little bit watching this film. But I remember when I was reading the books as a kid, you want that to be real. Yeah. Like, you feel like you're missing out.
Exactly, yeah.
And like when you see these animals, you're like, oh man, I wish. Like, when I was watching Pokemon as a kid as well, I was like, I just wish like Pokemon was real so much.
Yeah. Well, it's like for 2 hours or whatever the running time is, you're being brought along.
Yeah.
Brought into the fold, and that's an exciting thing to be part
you're
of.
living Newt's life for that short time.
Yeah. So, Joe, the title of the movie is Fantastic Beasts.
Yes.
And we've covered a lot of films that have beasts in them.
We have, yeah.
But there is a pantheon of monster movies that we haven't covered.
Okay.
Some we have, some we haven't.
We haven't done a Godzilla or a King Kong yet.
No, we haven't. Yeah. Which is interesting because it might just be a couple of questions coming up about those people. People? Beasts.
Yeah, no, they're people.
In my Movie Beast quiz. Play along at home, everybody. So there's 5 questions. And let's see how you do. So it's a little vertical slice of the monster movie pantheon.
Right. So you're going to ask me questions about movie monsters?
Yes.
Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay.
That is, yeah. So question 1.
Mm-hmm.
In its native Japanese, Godzilla is known as Gojira.
Yes.
But what does Gojira approximately translate to in English?
It's a good one. Based on themes. Can I have 2 guesses, 2 possibilities?
Well, I can give you a clue. It's a portmanteau of 2 words.
Okay. It's either going to be giant lizard or giant dinosaur, or it's going to be like atomic lizard or atomic dinosaur.
Not quite, actually. Gojira is a portmanteau of the Japanese words gorira, meaning gorilla,
right,
and Kujira, meaning whale, which is fitting because in one planning stage, Godzilla was described as a cross between a gorilla and a whale, alluding to its size, power, and aquatic origin.
What? It's a dinosaur. He's a dinosaur, right?
It's a reptile of some sort.
Is he a dinosaur that got woken up, or is he?
Listen, mate, he's a cross between a gorilla and a whale.
Right.
Question 2.
God, imagine that it was like gorilla whale.
Yeah.
And a dinosaur showed up.
Yeah, I'm glad they called it Godzilla and not gorilla whale. Yeah, that's like a bad straight to VHS movie called Gorilla Whale, and then it turns up and it's a lizard, and you're like, what the fuck? Question 2. Not including remakes or films featuring the same title.
Right.
Name 2 sequels to the 1933 film King Kong. So you've got 6 options. Basically.
Son of Kong.
Correct.
And Bride of Kong?
No.
Can I have one more guess?
You can have one more guess.
Okay. Kong versus...
You're very close. Think of an obvious thing that it would fight.
Godzilla?
Yeah, correct. Yeah. So, the answers you could have had were Son of Kong, King Kong versus Godzilla, King Kong escapes, King Kong lives, and the upcoming Kong Skull Island.
Right, I didn't think that counted because it doesn't have the name King Kong.
Yeah. I meant don't just say the 2 King Kong direct remakes.
Right,
basically.
got it, yeah.
Question 3. So you got 1 out of 2 so far. That's pretty good. Question 3. What is the name of the original short story in which The Thing appears?
The Thing is in from the movie The Thing.
Yes.
The John Carpenter movie, as well as the earlier.
Covered this film not too long ago.
And it came from the outer space?
No, incorrect. The answer is Who Goes There by John W. Campbell Jr.
Yeah, I remember now you say it.
Yeah. Question 4.
Yeah.
What makes the pale man chase Ophelia in Pan's Labyrinth? Ophelia being the little girl, basically.
Right, and the pale man being the one with eyes in the palms of his hands?
Yes, correct. So what does she do to anger the pale man?
Does she steal an apple from him or something?
Oh, you're very close. I might give you that. I'll give you half a point for that. She steals 2 grapes from him. Yeah. So that's what enrages him so much.
I honestly haven't seen that in 15 years.
Yeah. Question 5, final question. It's a bit more relevant, this one.
Okay.
In Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, Hogwarts is terrorised by the fearsome basilisk. But how does one breed a basilisk?
How does one kill it? I know they have to kill the diary with a basilisk tooth. Is that right?
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. You can't have a point for that, though. You can't have a point for answering a different question.
Oh, man. Well, how do you breed a basilisk?
Yeah. It's got a very specific method of breeding a basilisk.
Is this covered in the film?
Yeah.
By if I'm right in saying this, it's Gilderoy Lockhart is the Defence Against the Dark Arts teacher.
I believe so. Yeah, you still can't have a point for that.
Oh, this is all from memory.
Yeah,
but except for the part that you're asking about.
Yeah.
You have to rub them in milk. I don't know.
No, it wasn't rub them in milk. It was you hatch a chicken egg beneath a toad.
Fuck off. That's rubbish.
So
you talk like, that's fine, is it?
yeah, that's fine. So you got what? You got 1.5 out of
a toad.
5.
How did you keep the toad still long enough?
Listen, mate, magic.
Do you have to incubate it under the toad or just hatch it?
I don't have that information to hand, I'm afraid.
Right.
Maybe if you read Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them.
Who's that by?
Newt Scamander. So you got 1.5 out of 5, Joe. So you don't know that much about beasts in movies.
Yeah.
But what do we know about fantastic beasts and where to find them and the universe it portrays, Joe?
Magic is real.
Yeah. You can hatch a basilisk by sitting a toad on top of an egg. Could you like tape it to the egg? Would that work?
Well, you could probably do a spell.
Or to like paralyze the...
Yeah.
But it's got to survive, presumably. It's got to like... it's got to be like... I presume you couldn't just like moments before it hatches, like an egg hatches, just put a toad on it.
The problem is, Grace, toads are cold-blooded, which means that
that's true.
Incubation is not something they can do.
No, that is true. Well, there you go. I wouldn't have got the point in toad quiz. So here's a question for you. This is not a quiz question. This is just a discussion question, so you're much more at home here. One thing I never quite got about the Harry Potter universe and like magic and stuff is magical ability like a feat of strength?
Yeah, I always wonder that.
Because like, is it harder to lift like a double-decker bus than a feather? Or is it the same because it's like, it doesn't operate on a physics level?
I think, yeah. I yeah? I don't know. Well, yeah, I guess like, you never see Hermione doing feats of strength, do you?
I don't know. Like, well, she's good at spells, though, isn't she?
Yeah, that's the thing. I think there can be more difficult spells.
Right.
But I don't see why, because you're saying a word. It's like abracadabra. But you know, oh no, it's abracadabra.
Yeah. It's all about the inflection and everything, isn't it?
Right.
Yeah. But then...
Is the wand gesture important?
I think so, yeah.
Point and click.
Point and click. Yeah. Like, do you have to like train then to get stronger? Like when you start, let's say you've got, lift stuff up.
Levitation spell, Chris.
Yeah, what is it in Wingardium Leviosa?
There we are. You'd know.
That's it, yeah. Like, is it just like, oh, I've learned that spell, so I can lift
elephants and mice?
Yeah, like Wingardium Leviosa is category 1 lifting spell.
Right.
And so you can lift any object up to the weight of 20 kilograms or whatever. Okay. Or is it like, I practice saying that until I can lift a car with it?
Yeah. Unestablished, perhaps. We should get J.K. Rowling on.
Yeah. Can any person learn any spell, do you reckon? Like, other than, there's like moral quandaries in terms of like, they don't want to learn the killing curse or whatever.
Yeah.
Because they'll get in prison for life or whatever.
Yeah.
But what about like can you, is there like do people specialize? Like, do you become like a brain surgeon or like a brain surgeon wizard or like a fire wizard? Do you know what I mean? Like,
well, I assume so. I mean, they have a school nurse.
That's true, yeah.
And she seems to specialise in fixing
you
bones.
have to, you learn about like, they have the defense against the dark arts teacher.
Yeah, the potions.
Yeah, so like, I guess like the most powerful wizards are just the ones who know the most spells.
Yeah, that's.
But then it seems to be like divine, like people are born into it as well. Do you know what I mean?
It's genetic, isn't it?
Yeah, but then like
it's a dormant gene.
But I mean, like some people are like naturally more powerful than others. Do you see what I mean?
Well, like Dumbledore is better than like Ron Weasley.
Yeah, but like Dumbledore was always destined, he was always going to be like...
He was top of his class.
Ron Weasley, it's like if you or I practice playing football every day, we wouldn't probably still be professional footballers.
No. We wouldn't still be professional footballers.
No, no, we still wouldn't be professional footballers. Yeah. So is it like that? Do you know, like?
Yeah, but maybe it was it's innate and you can practice.
Yeah, like singing or something. Some people can't sing.
You have to be you have to have a predisposition to be good at it and then practice as well.
Yeah.
Like Hermione, banging them out, isn't she? Banging out the spells.
Yeah.
No problem.
Yeah.
Harry's quite good.
Yeah.
Is he an aura? What happens at the end of it? Do they become auras?
He might be an aura.
What's an aura?
It's like wizarding detective or something, isn't it?
Right.
Yeah. I think that's right. Just a powerful wizard.
The one from Game of Thrones is one, is it? He plays Osher.
What, in the Harry Potter movies?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, she might be one, but you're thinking of the Order of the Phoenix, aren't you?
Oh, right.
Like,
they're not.
They're like, well, I don't know, because they might be disavowed because they were like rebelling against what turned out to be a corrupt government.
Were they corrupt? The government?
Yeah, I think they were towards the end. Yeah. So you had that woman, the teacher, who takes over Hogwarts for a bit.
Dolores Umbridge.
Yeah.
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 I know the names.
Two men discuss their half-remembered thoughts about the Harry Potter franchise. So let's talk about some of the monsters in Newt's care and what we know about them. They don't seem particularly dangerous. Like, is that because magical creatures generally aren't, or is that because Newt has tamed them?
I think Newt is the boy, isn't he, when it comes to stuff like this?
Yeah.
Like, it does, like the rhino thing charges them.
Yeah.
And his friend has to wear a crash helmet.
That's right, yeah.
So it would have killed him.
Yeah. You would imagine so. He climbs up a tree and then it like...
It shoots the tree full of exploding balls.
Yeah.
God, it's just so... Like,
where do they come up with their ideas, Jay? So what about the Obscurus? The Obscurus, it's basically a release of sort of... they say in the film it's a release of sort of repressed magic. So wizards who have grown up in families who...
don't want to be magical.
Yeah, punish magic or whatever. Like the woman in the second Salemers in the film.
Yes, yeah.
So again, it seems to still like reflect the desires of the host. Doesn't seem to be just like random.
It's almost like them transformed.
Yeah, like werewolf. Like something like that.
Or an animagus. Animagus. Is it animagus?
That's what the people who can turn into animals.
Yeah,
I think
that's what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah, but they still have werewolves, don't they?
Yes, they do. In fact, Chris, after writing the Fantastic Beasts Where to Find Them book, I'm told that Newt Scamander went on to create the UK's index of werewolves.
There you go. Maybe that would be the sequel. Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, and then the UK's index of werewolves.
Did we come across any werewolves in the series?
Yeah, Lupin is a werewolf.
Is he?
Yeah. Professor Lupin, he's the Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher in the third film, and he's a werewolf. Lupin, of course,
I remember they all changed into animals to make him feel better.
So he was actually bitten by Fenrir Greyback when he was 5 years old. And Greyback is one of the sort of Death Eaters that you see in the Harry Potter films. And that's what turned Lupin into a werewolf. And you're right, his mates basically, when they were powerful enough, became animagus people to keep him company.
So how did Timothy Spall go from being like mates with the good guys to being like best mates with Voldemort?
Because he sold them out, didn't he, for to not be killed.
What? So he went around. Voldemort went around Timothy Spall's house and went, "I'll kill you if you don't tell me where they are."
Yeah, I think so.
And he was like, "No probs."
Yeah,
but that's different. Like if someone came in and out,
I
put a gun to my head and said, "Where's Chris?"
Peter Pettigrew is
that's the name. Right?
Yeah, he's the guy who gave up where the Potters lived or are hiding, I think.
Yeah, but if someone came in and out and said, "Put a gun to my head, where's Chris?" and I said, "He's at his house," why didn't you look there in the first place? Which is where they are.
Out partying, more likely.
Yeah. It'd be at the club, wouldn't it? and then he went and killed you, I wouldn't go, you know what, now I have to be his number one helper.
Yeah, but if you're like, oh, I please don't kill me, I'll do anything, and I'll become your servant.
Yeah.
Then maybe it'd be different, Joe. Well, that's all well and good, Joe, but what does that tell us when we're thinking about how to survive in Fantastic Beasts and where to find them? So have you got any ideas for Newton Scamander?
Newton.
Yeah.
Well, Newt. First of all, my advice is for what they call the meniscus.
MACUSA.
Yeah, the MACUSA. So the Ministry of American... It doesn't matter. I don't want to know. I don't want to know what it means.
I think it's important that you remember that it's the Magical Congress of the United States of America.
Like they have a high-ranking member.
Yeah.
In what's his name? Filipino Graves. Percival Graves.
Percival Graves, yeah.
Yeah.
Who turns out to be a double agent.
Yeah.
Or not even double agent. He is Hitler, basically.
Yeah.
It's not like Hitler sent a spy.
No.
It's Hitler's been working in the Ministry of Defence for the last 6 months.
Yes.
Yeah.
Did Graves show up and say, like, here's my CV. Percival Graves is the name.
Yeah.
And they went, that's fine. Come on in. And he was just like given immediate access to everything and high ranking. Because that's not the sort of job you just like go in for.
That's true. Yeah. What if Percival Graves is a real person?
Who's been murdered by...
Yeah, and had his identity taken. And his hair cut.
Grindelwald.
Yeah.
Right. Is revealed by Scamander.
Yeah.
Because he goes up to him and says, like, the spell.
Revelio
like,
or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Show yourself, yo. And he pings up and he's like, oh, I'm Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
And you go, fine, right?
Fine.
Why, if day one of like the interview, so here's your passport, your CV. Do you mind if we just check Revelio? Yeah. No, please don't. Why not?
That's actually a red flag in our system. Would you believe? Yeah. Think of all the tests you have to go through. Like a friend of my girlfriend's works for the Ministry of Defence.
Yeah.
And he had to go through like a 4-hour interview where they went through like his entire internet history and were like, why did you search for, whatever? Why did you do this? Like, have you ever met, or like, how do you know this guy? Like, how did you meet? What's your connection to him?
Really?
Yeah. All that sort of thing. I see you're interested in punk rock. That's pretty anti-establishment. All that sort of stuff. Yeah.
Like they had like search queries.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Like they know everything. They know like everyone you've ever been in contact with, every job you've ever done. And he said it's like you're basically encouraged. They'll ask you stuff like, have you ever watched gay porn? And they'll know whether you like from your internet history that you have. And it's just because if you go, no, I'd never do that. I'm straight or whatever.
Yeah.
Then they go, well, you're a fucking liar, mate. Off to the death chamber for you.
For being gay, for lying.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's like you'd imagine that MACUSA could take a leaf out of their books. Yeah. I mean, they don't have search queries. Maybe they have like a spell record or something. Yeah. Spell checker.
Yeah. But there must be 5 spells that like reveal who you are. See if you're disguising like your voice or you're a phantom yourself, or you're a ghost or something. Just like okay, just quick one. Accio, Ricardio.
Yeah, Accio, real ID. Yeah.
Is Accio's the one that makes it come over?
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Just So better screening process.
Yeah, basically like due diligence, like before. Yeah, because MACUSA, like if you're an aura, as I said, it seems like you're a pretty high-ranking sort of security official. So, in fact, I think on his character poster, Percival Graves is known as the head of wizarding security. So, the head of security, that's like the head of MI5 is actually Adolf Hitler. In World War II.
Wearing a mask.
Yeah. And no one thought to check. You know, it's Percival. He's always speaking in German. Doing that funny walk.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is a very salient point, I would say.
Yeah. How do you think he was hiding his identity, by the way? Is it one of those potions?
Well, I don't know, because would that wear off with a spell? I don't know. How would that work? Would it all just like suck out of your blood if it was like a chemical compound? I'd assume it's more of like a very hard to conjure spell or something, maybe.
Yeah, it's not hard to defeat that because Scamander isn't a great wizard, is he? He just like loves animals.
Like what if you happen to be walking past someone else who's casting that spell and you're Grindelwald,
right?
Like, because it's just the first time anyone happens to cast that spell near
right,
yeah, or whatever, isn't it?
Yeah,
in however long it's been.
And what makes Scamander go? That guy probably isn't Graves.
Well, because this leads into what I want to suggest,
right.
Which is another How to Survive tip, but this time it's for Grindelwald.
Okay.
Basically, don't get angry and just blow your cover like willingly.
Yeah.
Because the auras, they clean up the mess with the of New York City, right?
Yeah.
And everyone's been, all their memories are wiped or whatever.
Yeah.
And Grindelwald starts, still as Percival, starts going on about how the no-mages are being more protected than the wizarding people.
You're starting to sound a bit like Grindelwald.
Yeah, and he starts getting aggressive and then starts firing spells at all the auras. And it looks like he's winning because he's like the most powerful wizard ever or whatever. Yeah. Should watch his 6 really, shouldn't he?
Yeah.
And he had no reason to do that. Like, fair enough, his plan has failed. Yeah. But it's not, this plan needs to come off or I might as well be in jail forever. They execute people.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, a couple of blocks away and you'll be put in the fucking dipping chair, mate. Yeah. Like, just chill. Just go, I'm really glad this has all worked out.
Yeah.
Everyone.
John, do you know what? I'm glad that Oculus Rift killed.
You could have just gone, Newton, I apologise.
Yeah.
Well done.
Sorry about that, mate. You know, heat of the moment. And he'd go, nothing to worry about.
I was just worried about the wizarding community as head of wizarding security for the whole of the Makusa. And I think that's a fair enough thing. But he's annoyed because his plans failed. So he just fucking gives up however many months of covert infiltration to get into this place. As you say, maybe he did have to go through all those tests and he's got some way of getting through it all.
Yeah.
The 4-hour grilling. Have you ever watched gay porn? No. Have you ever watched no-mad porn?
To be fair, there's a theory that Grindelwald is gay with Dumbledore.
Right.
So
I look forward to that in UK Werewolf Guide 2017 or whatever it is.
The UK Werewolf Index.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. And similarly, another bit of advice for one of the villains of the piece: just be nice. Just be nice to people. Like Senator Harry Shaw Jr.
Yeah.
Right. He talks down to or belittles Credence.
Closes the door in his face and he's like, not only do I not want to help you, but I'm going to unhelp you.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to spit in your face basically. Yeah. Because I think you're scum. There's no reason to do that.
He's a nomad, is he? Old Shaw?
Yeah. Big time.
Does he know about music?
Music. Does he know about music? Yeah.
Does he know about magic?
Yeah. I don't think he does know about magic because I don't think he does know about magic because the second Salemers are there to try and get him to
and he thinks they're hokum.
Yeah, exactly. He thinks they're just a mad cult.
Yeah,
he's just arrogant and nasty to him, and that's eventually what gets him killed.
Yeah,
because it's not that Credence is this guy's staunchly anti-magic, so I better kill him. Yeah. It's just this man was rude to me, so I better murder him in front of hundreds of people.
Yeah, this man has refused to put something in place that would make me personally more at risk.
Yeah,
for some reason.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? Because he's
because
he stands to lose if people start hating magic people.
Yeah, although if it's repressed, I don't know if it maybe I don't know, but he has no reason to do that. So just don't do that.
First rule of politics, isn't it?
Yeah,
yeah. Always be nice to people on the way up because you'll be seeing them again on the way down.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, and he certainly saw him on the way down as he hit the floor at 40 miles an hour.
Yes,
dead. Yeah, so that's my advice to Harry Shaw Jr.
I don't, Harry.
Yeah.
My next piece of advice, Chris, is for basically anyone in the movie.
Yeah.
Now, I've seen Harry Potter, as I said, and it's not a joke to say everything that I've just talked about for the last, whatever, how long, 45 minutes has been from memory, right?
Right.
And I can remember spells that are pretty useful, which I don't see happen.
Right.
So if and even in the movie you see it, like you'll see Scamander at the beginning. He makes the guy, his mate Jacob, come over to him really quick, and then they disappear and go somewhere else.
Yeah.
Now why don't they do that throughout the whole film, continually? Like every time they want something to come to him, just go. I think the spell is Accio, as I recall.
Right.
So you say
I don't know. Is that how it works with people as well? I don't know.
I don't know. So you go to the park.
Yeah.
The rhinoceros thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a spell for that.
Well, this is what we were saying about, like, we don't know the boundaries of what you can do with spells.
Well, say to the rhino again, when it's swimming in the lake, it goes underwater. You could use something called the drought charm.
Okay.
It makes all the water disappear.
Yeah.
Then
That seems like a rash thing to do in the long run.
Yeah. There's also a water making charm.
Oh, well, there you go. Yeah.
So
fine.
It's only temporary.
So it must exist outside of physics then, because you can't like destroy matter.
Well, maybe transports it somewhere.
Or destroy.
Maybe
energy.
there's a living room in China which just suddenly fills with water.
Yeah.
Other useful spells from the Harry Potter world. I looked up. Koloshu. I don't know how it's pronounced, Chris, but it's something like Koloshu.
Right.
It adheres the victim's shoes to the ground with a sort of adhesive ectoplasm.
Okay.
So if you shot that at old mate,
Credence,
Graves, anyone
yeah,
you like,
anyone,
yeah, it will make them stand still.
Right.
I'm pretty sure there's one called Stupefy, as I recall, as well.
Yeah.
Which would do much the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
So anytime someone's running away from you, you just go, Stupefy.
Yeah.
That's fine. Got you now. Not getting away.
Yeah. Although there are, is that what, there are sort of moments in the film where people are firing spells at Grindelwald, and he's just sort of deflecting them.
Right,
yeah.
right.
Is that what it is?
It could be, yeah. He just can't be hit. Yeah, fair enough. So the rhino and the big snake, they're quite hard to catch.
Mm-hmm.
What animal do you think would be easier to catch? Maybe a duck?
Right.
Luckily, there's a spell for turning things into ducks.
Okay.
Duckliphores.
Okay. So you could cast it on the rhino thing and it turn into a duck.
Why not?
Yeah.
I don't know if it works on rhinos. Certainly on people. Finally, I think a lot of people use their wand. But even Grindelwald, who doesn't, he can use his hand. Do you know what would stop that?
What?
No hands. There's the finger removing jinx.
Right.
Which
are these all from the Harry Potter wiki?
Yeah, from the universe, yeah.
Right.
We saw the finger removing jinx, Chris, is used by Gunhilda Neen.
Yeah.
She jinxes her husband with this spell.
Yeah.
Don't know who she is.
Right.
But she did that. So yeah. They're all things.
Okay.
That aren't used. And they exist. And they would solve problems.
That is true. I mean, they may not know all these spells.
I know them.
You read them off a list.
So there's no spell books.
Well, I don't know. There's not the internet, is there?
Like there's... what I saw was it amounted to about... Well, it was alphabetical, 26 pages.
Right.
It's a 26-page book.
Yeah. Fantastic spells and where to use them.
Yeah, exactly. That's not...
Fair enough.
You could carry that in your pocket.
Yeah. That's
Just go,
true.
oh, wait, there's someone getting away from me.
Pocket guide to spells.
Here we are. Let's have the old colour shoe.
Yeah.
Sorted.
Nice. Well, I've got one final suggestion.
Go on.
Now, final scene of the film, Joe, you'll remember Kowalski. He's in his bakery. He's made all of his funny pastries and that.
Yeah, yeah.
And then Queenie pops in, doesn't she? The little romantic interest for him.
Yeah.
And they exchange a look, and it's clear that his memories are coming back, aren't they?
Yeah, he touches the wound on his head.
Yeah, yeah. And it's like, oh, I remember you.
Yeah.
And that's the positive note on which the film ends.
Yes.
Now, the reality of that is a fucking disaster for the magical community, isn't it? Because that spell hasn't worked at all, is it? If a woman is all it takes to spark the flooding back of all the memories, right? What about all the other literally millions of people who live in New York who saw their homes destroyed, their loved ones murdered, cars destroyed, like whole houses and streets ripped up, a giant bird flying in the sky? Like, is it just like, what are the limits of this? Is it like they saw any bird, they'd be like, oh shit, I remember that giant fucking golden bird that flew everywhere, right? More specifically, the fuck is happening to Henry Shaw? His son's dead, and he's just gonna be like, "Where's my son?"
He's the senator of the whole state.
Yeah, he's gonna be going, "I'm sure I had a son."
He is sure.
Yeah, I am sure, and I am certain I had a son. Where is he? And then he's gonna go, "Well, your son's dead." It's like, how did he? Oh, I remember. There was a giant magical force that like tore him to shreds before my eyes. I remember all the magicians, wizards.
Hold on. This is yesterday's paper.
Yeah. Well, they change all the paper. You see that, don't
right?
they?
Yeah.
But a man is dead. Several people are dead. Like,
yeah, fair point.
what are they like? Are you telling me that like? There's nothing that's going to jog Senator Shaw's memory.
He's going
to go into fucking Kowalski's bakery, and there's going to be like a like obscure sausage roll, and he's going to be like, "Oh shit! Like my son's dead." Yeah.
A gingerbread man that looks exactly like a dead Shaw Jr.
Yeah, but it basically appears that the Makusa. I mean, we've already seen that they're negligent on like with people coming into their company. It seems like they go, "Oh, look, the thing's flown up and dispersed that big cloud, and we've fixed all the buildings. That's fine.
Yeah,
job done." Job is not done. No. A man's son is dead, and he's got no contextual memory as to why that's the case.
Well, maybe, Chris, this is going to come up again, and he'll be an antagonist, minor antagonist, in the next film. When he's like, where's my son?
Yeah. Wow, that's something to look forward to. We'll cover it in 2 years' time, maybe.
I think to step to the defense of the Kowalski remembering scenario, I think love, Chris, is a particularly powerful thing in the Harry Potter universe.
As we know, it's the fourth dimension.
Yes.
Yeah.
Interstellar taught us that.
Yeah.
And I think that is what saved Harry's life when he was attacked by Voldemort.
Yeah.
Because it was his mother's love for him.
Yeah. Do you think that's just Dumbledore telling like an 8-year-old boy something that he's like equipped to hear?
Love.
Are you sure it's not? Are you sure it's not like Voldemort? Well, as your mother exploded, like
as her brain's
hot carcass like formed a cocoon that protected you, like, you know, as her liquefied remains coated you and formed like a protective barrier.
Yeah.
Maybe it was that.
Love. Because Voldemort doesn't have any love.
No
one ever loved him.
Yeah.
Old Tom Riddle.
Yeah.
It's a shame. And that's why he hates Harry Potter, because Harry Potter was loved.
Yeah.
He was the boy, not just the boy who lived, the boy who was loved.
Yeah.
And that is the real message of J.K. Rowling's work, is that love is the strongest magic of them all.
And on that note...
Yeah, and I want all of our listeners to go away today and just think, who could I love a little more today? Maybe you've got someone at work who you'd like to cast the killing curse on.
The killing curse?
But actually, love would be a more powerful thing to hit them with.
It would.
And then if you did try and kill them after that, they'd be protected by your love.
Yeah.
In a kind of paradoxical...
Hot, wet cocoon of meat.
Yeah. And that, Chris,
is the
not just the message of Harry Potter and the message of Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them.
Yeah.
It's the message of the How to Survive podcast, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, if you're looking for a fantastic podcast, then you've already found it. It's How to Survive. So make sure you subscribe. Make sure you leave us a lovely little 5-star review. We had someone tweet in asking if you can leave a rating on Pocket Casts, the app.
Yeah.
I've got Pocket Casts. It doesn't appear that you can do that.
Oh.
So very simple. Just buy an iPhone at great personal expense.
Yeah.
And do it that way through the podcast store.
Yeah. Thank you for wanting to review us, though.
Yeah, that is very kind. Assuming that you weren't desperate to leave a 1-star review.
Yeah.
Well, that is love, and as we've said, that's the message of Harry Potter.
Yeah.
And if you want to tell us how much you love us, then please get in touch. HowToSurviveShow@gmail.com. The Twitter for any messages of love that are 140 characters or fewer is @HowToSurvivePod. Next week, Joe, we've got another fantastical beast movie.
Yes. Gremlins. The 1984 movie Gremlins.
Yes.
Is it as good as this?
I would say not.
Well, we'll find out
That
next
is
week.
sacrilege to some people.
Don't ruin it.
No.
We need to get them a tenner.
I mean,
Tune in next week and we'll find out.
yeah. I what I meant to say was Accio, an ending to the podcast.
Well, Chris, I'm glad you asked about the ending for the podcast because Amor Tentia is the love potion. It
Right.
causes a powerful infatuation or obsession from the drinker.
Okay. Do you know what the adult movie version of this film is called?
It would be a pun on it.
Yeah.
Fantastic boobs and where to find them.
It's obviously fantastic breasts and where to find them. I can't believe you.
Yeah. That's a good point.
Close.
Yeah. Where do you find them?
In the wizarding world of Harry Potter.
See you next week. All right, so I've got 18 jokes. Only Harry Potter fans will find funny.
Right.
So the first one isn't even a joke. It's the tagline of the piece, the article, and it's
Right.
It's ha ha ha, not ha ha ha.
Right.
Get it?
Yeah, is it like the spell
Don't know.
Wingardium Leviosa?
I guess so.
Okay.
Number one, where do you find Dumbledore's army?
In his sleeveys.
Yep.
That's not a Harry Potter joke. That's
No.
just a joke that,
Yep.
like, they've just put the word Dumbledore into a joke.
Yes.
That already, right.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Is that setting the tone for this?
So there's a picture of Ron, and he's dressed in his Quidditch outfit,
Mm-hmm.
and it says, "If your boyfriend dresses like this, he's probably a keeper." Don't get it. Then there's a Facebook feed where Rubius Hagrid has written on Harry Potter's wall using a BlackBerry,
Right.
and it says, "You're a Horcrux, Harry." And Harry says, "I'm a what?" And Hagrid says, "There, I saved you 7 years of bullshit." And Dumbledore says, "Fuck you, Hagrid." Is that funny?
I mean,
There's a picture of the woman from My Family on BBC.
yeah.
She says, "Now once you've got hold of your broom, I want you to mount it. Grip it tight. You don't want to be sliding off the end." And it's got a picture of Harry Potter who's in a different environment. He's like under in a cave and he's dirty, smiling. And it says, "That's what she said." Why did Snape stand in the middle of the road?
Why?
So you'll never know which side he's on.
At least that's a joke.
So it's loser smiley face. It's like an iPhone, the iPhone like text.
Emoticon thing.
No. It's an iPhone text app,
Right.
like an old one, and the person they're texting is saved as loser smiley face. The first message is from the person who is loser smiley face. It says K, and then the person who this is, whoever it is, I don't know, it says it's from them, from the person whose phone it is. It says, "Do you want to hear a joke?" And the other person who's loser smiley face says, "Sure." Knock knock. Who's there? You know who. And then they've done a picture of Voldemort. Is the loser thing important?
No, I don't think so.
You're so muggle, you thought the Flu Network was on Channel 54.
I mean, okay.
There's Harry Potter, and it says Professor, but it's spelled Professor with an E. Professor, stop screaming my name. And then Snape says to Harry, funny, that's not what your mum said last night. Which is funny because his mum's dead. Then there's a picture of like Voldemort, and he's got his hands in the air, and it says "Wacka Wacka AA," this time for Azkaban. And then Hermione is talking to Malfoy. She says, I'm going to bed. And he says, can I slither in? And she does like a sad face. Then, you know the song Friday, Friday?
Yeah.
It's a picture of her.
Rebecca Black.
Yeah, it says, which seat should I take? And then it's Helena Bonham Carter. And it says, ah, crap, I killed the wrong black. Then there's Harry Potter as like a boy. He's like a kid Harry Potter, and he's holding the golden ball from the game.
The snitch, yeah.
And he says, if you're having Quidditch problems, I feel bad for you, son. I got 99 problems, but a snitch ain't one. But he has got the snitch, so I don't know.
Well, the snitch isn't causing him any problems, is he?
That's true. Yeah. It's got Voldemort wearing glasses. And it says, I liked the basilisk when it was underground. Last one. It's Snape, right? And this one's written in Comic Sans.
Okay.
But it's like white Comic Sans with like an outline, a green outline, just to get you an idea of the design element on this one.
Okay.
The first panel is Snape, and it says, Headmaster, I'm afraid the Dark Lord has returned. And the next panel is Dumbledore. So the early one, though, the first one.
Yeah, Richard Harris.
Yeah, Richard Harris. And he says, are you serious? And then Snape says, no, I'm Severus. And then there's Sirius Black, and he's just looking into like the middle distance. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
That's only Harry Potter jokes. I mean, only Harry Potter fans will understand those jokes. Do you understand them?
Yeah.
So you're a fan?
Yeah.
We've outed you, finally.
Yeah. Good.
What was your best one?
So you don't know which side he's on?
Yeah? That's the best one.